The two-day Economic Mkutano 2020 is running on the theme Financing Local Governments' Development Plans to Achieve the National Development Plan 3 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Devising mechanisms to ensure adequate financing for the local governments was emphasized by Betty Amongi, the Minister of Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs.
Today we are discussing other mechanisms of financing, infrastructure, financing, security, financing, issues around microfinance and cheap capital for people who live in the city. And all this we are looking at PPP, that is private partnership, which can facilitate private investors who can, for example, come and invest in garbage.
More resources from the central government to Uganda's commercial and administrative city Kampala is highlighted. According to Dorothy Chisaka, the Executive Director KCCA, population explosion and shortage of resources limits the authority's capacity to provide adequate service.
That if 10% of our people find their livelihood in the capital city, why doesn't KCCA get 10% of the national budget? Why can't KCCA receive 4.5 trillion? Because can you imagine what that would do for the informal settlements we have, for the drainage, for the health, for the education? Would you believe what that could do for our roads? And in turn, that would increase our economic growth.
Although the development partners promised to support Uganda in its quest to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, there is consensus that public and private finance will both be needed at scale to meet the SDGs. Currently, Uganda is ranked 18th in the continent in the progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
You may know that NDP 3 sets increasing targets for domestic revenue mobilization as the share of the national budget. But Uganda is still below the average African level, the regional level, which is around 17%. And it is much, much lower than the level of the developed countries, where the share of own source revenues goes as high as 50% and above.
Central government's transfers constitute the 80% urban local government's budget, a total of Uganda shillings 3.6 trillion transferred in the financial year 2019-2020, yet the share of public resources to local government has diminished to 11% in the financial year 2019-2020. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.